If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Look at this, another campground with running water, drinking water, and this stuff's pretty good too. It's got chlorine in it, comes from the city, which is absolutely amazing to me because the city's like 10 miles away. So, but there are some houses down the road. I guess they're getting city water. You know, I talk a lot about how it's difficult to find water out here. I really struggle with it. Carolyn and I have said this before, we use about 40 gallons of water a week. So 20 gallons per person. But here's the thing. Every time I get on YouTube and somebody's talking about water, they talk about how easy it is to find water. And it occurred to me the other day, I was watching a video, that it's easy to find water because, quite frankly, and I don't know how to put this any more diplomatically than what I'm going to say here, they're stealing water. I saw this video where he's talking about, you know, everybody needs to come out here. It's a great lifestyle. You're going to love it. Stop worrying about the little things like finding water because water is everywhere. While in my opinion, he was stealing water. He was sitting there telling us that he was at a museum. Now the buildings were closed, but you could go onto the museum grounds and they had some hoses connected to, you know, water faucets. And he decided to take some water. Now, the museum has requested donations, so that means that it's a privately funded organization. When they're asking for donations, it's a non-profit organization that requires funding from the population. Now, he didn't suggest to anybody that when they come out to this, and he named the museum, telling everybody to come out here, see how easy to come out to this place to get water. He didn't suggest to anybody to leave a donation as they're taking water. Now, it was quite clear why there was a water faucet there with a hose attached. It's quite clear to me that the intended use for that water spigot was so for the maintenance guys could come out, water the plants, or clean the sidewalks, or fill their buckets of mop water, whatever the case is, but it was not intended for RVers to come out here and fill up their buckets. He also suggested that there were some outlets throughout the museum grounds, electrical outlets, and he suggested if you need to come out here and use some electric, there's some right there. Once again, that is stealing electric. Now, just assuming for a minute that the water comes out of the ground through a natural spring, and the museum doesn't have to pay for that water, which sometimes happens, the electric is definitely not free. That museum has to pay for the electric. So if you're plugging into this, you are stealing electric. I made a video a while back where I got into this conversation with this guy on Facebook. He sent me a picture and he has plugged his RV up to the pavilion of a city park. I said, man, you're stealing electric. No, I'm not. And here's the thing that I think, and this is important to this video. Intended use. I talked about the intended use of that water at the museum. The intended use for that water was to clean the grounds, fill up mop buckets, that kind of thing. The electric at that museum was probably so the maintenance guys could trim hedges. And so I made another video a while back where I talked about this pavilion. Sure enough, I had lots of people tell me that I was wrong, that as long as they buy something in town, that they are paying for that electric. And I thought, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. I went to the city town hall, and they have a pavilion there with electric outlets. And I said, yeah, I was wondering if I could plug my camper up to the pavilion. And they looked at me and said, what? I said, well, you got electric outlets there at the pavilion. I said, can I plug my RV up to that pavilion? Charge the batteries, run the refrigerator, that kind of thing. And she said, absolutely not. She says, first of all, if you're going to use those outlets, it's for family reunions and city events, parades, those kind of things. And if you're going to use the electric, we have a fee. So it would seem reasonable to me then that if I ever want to plug into a pavilion at a city park, I need to ask every city hall, which I never intend to because, you know, of course I explain the whole scenario that I do YouTube videos and But I wanted to get her reaction, and sure enough, her reaction was, no, this is ridiculous. This is a dumb idea. Do not plug into that. So what is the criteria in which you can get water? Because this is an ongoing debate also. When I first started this RV lifestyle, a lot of people told me I need to get this thing called a water thief, but the word thief would tell you something about this device. You are thieving water. What this device does is you can put this device onto a water faucet, say in a public bathroom, you know, like a city park bathroom, and then you can run a hose from that sink to your tanks in your RV. Again, the intended use of the sink, this is important, the intended use of that sink is not to hook a water thief into. It was designed to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom for public safety. This particular town, I assume, wants you to be able to go to the bathroom in their public parks, specifically children. And if they have to go to the bathroom, they can go to the bathroom, wash their hands, and then come back out to the jungle gym and not spread germs and diseases to the other children of the city park. Some city parks have water spigots outside. And I actually do not object to taking water from those water spigots. Within reason. No, they're not designed for you to fill your RV tanks. And no, I would not take 40 gallons of water. What it's intended use for at a city park is to fill probably 1 bucket of water. Here's why I know this, is because the beach here that we're sitting at, they have a city park that has running water at every picnic table. And you know what I saw? I saw somebody sitting at a picnic table and they had an ice cooler. And they took their ice cooler full of ice, you know, had ice in it, and they filled the rest of it up with water. The intended use was to fill their cooler. So if I take 5 or 10 gallons of water from a city park, I would suspect that I am using that water for intended use. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.